So now we begin with the last unit, unit number 5, that is signal processing. We are going to talk about the importance of signal processing in biomedical instrumentation. This is actually one of the most important aspects of instrumentation, whether it is industrial instrumentation, whether it is biomedical instrumentation. The processing of the signal that we have captured is one of the most important aspects of any instrument that we design, because it is very easy to detect a change, it is very easy to capture a signal, but to make that signal a readable, to make that signal usable for some layman or for the end user is very very important. So the whole process that is involved from measuring of the signal, that is from the field where you detect the change in the signal with the help of a sensor, to the final display. Most of the devices you must have seen that you have a digital display, you get some numbers. If you're using suppose a BP machine at home, so you are actually getting some numbers. Okay, there is a sensor. The sensor is actually detecting in terms of maybe vibrations, or maybe sound, or maybe some turbulent blood flow, or maybe pressure. But at the end, at the display, what you see is some numbers which are very relevant. Okay, you can actually correlate those numbers to the readings that you can actually expect for a blood pressure measurement, right? So the whole lot of things that are involved in between is actually called signal processing, right? So in this unit you will be studying the some I'll be giving you a basic introduction of what signal processing is. Then you will be studying about Wheatstone bridge. Wheatstone bridge is one of the very 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 commonly used devices in many instruments to actually convert your the sensing action, or the value that has been detected by the sensor, into an electrical signal. Okay, then in the next stage we have amplifiers, we have filters, and finally if you have to transmit the data, we need to understand the concept of modulation and demodulation. So all these things we are going to study in this particular unit. So first of all, let us understand what is signal conditioning. The measurement, or the value that we are measuring, is basically a physical quantity as it is detected by the first stage of instrumentation or the measurement system. Now the first stage is actually the detector stage, or you can say the transducer stage. Okay, the quantity is detected and it is transduced into an electrical form in most of the cases. So transduced over here means changed, right? So we had studied in the earlier units what a transducer actually is. It is measuring some physical values, some physical parameters, and converting into some electrical equivalent. So the first stage is detector stage. Second stage involves converting it into some electrical output, and then the output of the first stage has to be modified before it is usable and satisfactory to drive the signal presentation stage. So which is usually the last stage of the instrumentation system. Okay, so the last stage actually involves indicators, recorders, display, data processing, or maybe some control elements, or maybe data logging or something. So to make that signal appropriate enough, firstly for the user to understand, and secondly the signal has to be made so powerful that it is able to drive the circuits that are attached to it. Most of the signals that you take from human body are very very feeble. A small signal coming from human body cannot drive your voltmeter to show you what voltage it is measuring. You need to have some circuitry inside which can actually drive those display elements. Okay, because display elements, suppose if you have analog meter, or so that's basically what, that's a pointer moving on the scale, it's a mechanical device. To move that you need some sufficient energy to actually start some movement into that pointer, right? So basically the whole lot of steps that are involved in between, from the stage where it is converted into an electrical energy till the final display, all these stages in between, they are actually called signal conditioning. So that includes filters, amplifiers, modulators, etc. They are all involved in between, and then you get the final data at the display device. So very just to give you a brief introduction, the basic structure of DC signal conditioning or data acquisition equipment in many situations be an excitation and amplification system of passive transducers. Now over here, the measurement is actually giving a signal to the transducer. Now your transducer might be a strain gauge, it might be a piezoelectric device, it might be anything. Okay. So your transducer is connected to bridge, Wheatstone bridge, like I was talking about. That bridge is because that bridge, DC excitation source is mentioned over here because the bridge needs some external power battery to work. And from one side, it takes the value from the transducer and it converts it into an electrical equivalent and further gives it to the next particular circuit. So next after that comes calibration and zeroing network. Now calibration is suppose that the value that you have measured from human body maybe some maybe zero point 0.5 microvolts or millivolts or something like that, but the circuit that you have at the output display needs suppose 5 volts to operate, right? It cannot drive below 5 volts. So what we have to do is we have to make a calibration of this input value that we are getting to the scale at which the output device actually works. And at the output device again it has to be actually displayed. Again another calibration is to be done in terms of medical terms, like for example when you see the blood pressure, you don't see it in terms of voltage, you see it in terms of some values relevant to blood pressure. Okay, all these conversions that are taking place, this is calibration. Okay, so from the bridge, the electrical signal that is generated, it is sent to the calibration circuit. From the calibration circuit, it is amplified to a suitable level. Okay, and then it is given to the low pass filter. Low pass filter is actually to remove any noise. The values that you measure from human body, they are actually all low frequency signals. So any high frequency signal coming in between is actually noise. So from amplifier, it goes to the low pass filter, and then from there it is filtered, all the unwanted noise is removed, and your signal actually goes as a DC output to whatever display device you have. So this whole structure is actually how a signal conditioning works for a DC signal. In terms of AC signal, there is a little bit of change. In AC signal, what happens is that from transducer, it goes to the bridge. Over here, when you have to actually send it to calibration or zeroing network, usually if there is a transmission of long distance involved over here, then we need to have a carrier wave in between. Okay, what we do over here is the concept of modulation that comes into picture. This bridge is actually converting it into electrical signal, and at the same time having a carrier wave, it gets superimposed. The signal actually gets superimposed on the AC carrier wave, and then it becomes a high energy signal. It is sent to the calibration network, or it is transmitted through cables or some wireless communication. It is sent to the calibration signal. Over there it is converted into suitable levels. Then an AC amplifier is used, and after AC amplifier we have a phase sensitive demonstrator. Now this is actually phase sensitive demonstrator. What it does is it knows what carrier wave you had used as a reference. So if from that modulated wave that it was receiving, it will discard the carrier wave and it will again give you at the output the original wave that we had sent, or which actually carries information. Okay, and that again it will be as I earlier we had seen, it will be fed as a low pass filter, because human body measurements, they are low frequency signals. Okay, so any unwanted noise will be removed, and then it will be given as the DC output. Right, now why these this kind of thing is done? First thing is that it is when you want a very high amplification, AC amplifiers are easy to design as compared to DC amplifiers. If you design DC amplifiers for a very high gain, it may malfunction, it has certain disadvantages. But AC amplifier is actually easy to design for even very high gain. And secondly, when you use this modulating technique, it actually converts your data signal into a high energy wave, and that can be transmitted to a longer distance. Okay, so in such cases we use the AC signal conditioning.